This is Hadrian Radio, coming to you from Free Catalonia, a KA Radio production.
The Catalan resistance is not gonna declare independence just for the benefit of Catalan nationalists. We're gonna do it to put our little effort into making the world a better place. This is David Rabantos. This is chapter 35 of Radio Hadrian on its English language version. It's aired on the 11th of February 2018. As always, thank you so much to KA Radio for giving us this opportunity to break censorship. We encourage you to listen to this program live at 16 GMT time every Sunday, and to share it by all means. Facebook is blocking me as a person and the Catalan resistance as a group to avoid us to spread this program, because this program is the only program where you can listen to the truth about what goes on in Catalonia. So please share it, mainly through the website of KA Radio, because we need to bring KA Radio to the center of the political and Scottish arena. And for certain, in other things that are coming along, we're gonna try to promote KA Radio as much as we can, because they deserve it. And it's great to be part of this family with great programs. After this program, you see the Spanish version, but after that you have The Long Gunman Rides Again, brilliant music programs. It's a privilege to be a small part in the KA Radio family. So thanks so much. Today we're going to talk about 8 different reasons why we're going to bring about Catalan independence. Then we're going to talk about the 7 benefits that Carles Puigdemont is giving Spain by staying in Belgium. We're going to talk about how they disinform us, or how they distract us, or how they waste our time, which are techniques that the New World Order uses to avoid us bringing down the system. We're going to talk about something that is applicable both in Scotland and in Catalonia, as they cannot use military force, and as they are not being seductive towards our languages or towards the economy or towards our nation. It means they have used infiltration onto both of us. Then we're gonna talk about what went on the 1st of October, and also what goes on here when the Catalan leaders are backtracking from independence and saying they didn't declare it, and saying that only a referendum organized by Spain could bring independence. And then we're going to talk about how they call democracy things that are not. I didn't elect my mayor. I didn't elect the Catalan president. I have no choice in what goes on in Europe. And the United States has a president, of course, I cannot vote for. So how can you call that democracy? So we start. It is controversial what I'm gonna say, but then if it wasn't, this wouldn't be Radio Hadrian, would it? So it's very central. First of all, not everybody that comes out as a Scottish nationalist or a Catalan nationalist, they really are. There's a lot of infiltrated people in social media that try to pass as Catalan or Scottish nationalists, and they're not. They're the contrary. They work for British or Spanish secret services. But even so, even the real ones in Catalonia, basically we want independence, or how they started, because of historical reasons. We were crushed by Castile and France 300 years ago. We don't belong, we don't feel part of Spain, and that's about it. There was no referendum, there was no election. We were crushed militarily when the English deserted us because their interests changed. So one of the reason number 1 is historical reasons. We are a nation, we want to put an end to 300 years occupation. Another one is economic. About 10% of gross domestic production gets taken away from Catalonia and never comes back. And that is that is putting in danger the new generations. Generations are having to emigrate for first time ever here. And that's that's psychologically very hard, because some people came from Spain here, and now their sons or grandsons, they have to emigrate again. When you put two migrations in 3 generations, that's bad, because you're not here, not there, you're nowhere. So that's very hard psychologically, mainly to some of the people that they don't feel per se very pro-independence. They are some of the most affected by the lack of independence. So it might be a bit of a paradox, but that's the truth. Third reason why we want independence for Catalonia is cultural. Language is quite central here. We have a language spoken also in Valencia and Balearic Islands, northern Catalonia or south of France, you name it, in Andorra, in some parts in Aragon, and in some tiny place in Alger, Sardinia. But this language is not defended and is not promoted by Spain. In radio stations, you can listen to any language in a song, or you could hear Gangnam Style in Korean, or any language can become a hit. But songs in Catalan, which is the main language here, is not as it might be sadly with Gaelic in Scotland. Catalan is the main language here. You cannot hear it in Spanish stations. Some people leaves films when there's a film where there's a couple of words in Catalan. There's people in Spain who's known to have woken up and leave a cinema. When an anchorman by mistake might say bon dia instead of buenos dias, there's a big crisis. So to protect our culture, we need independence. These 3 ones are the classic ones: culture, history, economy. But to this, there's 5. And these 5 go addressed to some people that might not be affected by the first 3. But we need everybody in this boat. We're going to be 90% people with the resistance when we've won. This is a movement that's going to move everybody. No matter what they think about independence today, they're going to be for independence in the next 23 months. Number 4 is convivence between, or coexistence between, different cultures. We cannot coexist with Spain, that has been hitting us and attacking all our laws and all our people, and hitting people the 1st of October. Convivence is not possible anymore. So that it's, regardless whatever the reasons were for independence when this thing started, now it has become impossible. The process on itself has made it impossible. So that's number 4. The 5th one is democracy. But we don't use it in the loose way. Here in Catalonia we say, oh, but Spain's not a democracy, but we are. Well, I have bad news. Until we become independent, Catalonia is not a democracy, because it's subordinated to the Spanish dictatorship. The only way for democracy to arrive is to become independent and start anew, with a change of paradigm, and we don't agree and we don't follow what happened in 1975. And the only way to put Franco and the monarchy to court would be with an independent Spain. So forget, there's no possibility for democracy in Spain, because Spain is structured as a continuation of Franco times. So the only way to democracy is an independent Catalonia. The 6th one is proximity or accountability. Here in Catalonia, and I guess to a point in Scotland, everything is blamed on London or Madrid, which in great deal it's true, but it has made a group of politicians that only complain. They have nice salaries, they are very loved in their own countries, they have official cars, they go to television, but they don't run any real country. And here in Catalonia we have the pots and pan revolutions, and we do a lot of demonstrations, and we have yellow ribbon for the people in prison, even when they're actors, and all these things we do, but they're addressed to somebody who's 600 kilometers away, and we have a government that don't govern. So I don't want that for my country. I want to live in a real country which is focused on the real thing we have. And if we're gonna start doing some scratches, or we're gonna do hitting some pens, I want it to be in front of the house of the people who actually takes decisions. so their neighbors can be not very happy with them living there, and they become non grata persons in their own neighborhoods. That's one way they might start changing things. Hitting your bans against Madrid, which is 600 kilometers away and only alienates babies and dogs in your neighborhood, is not a smart move. But the 7th and 8th are the most important for me. It's the reasons why I decided to risk my life and to take this very complicated fight 4 years ago. One I would call dignity and truth, and the 8th is to make a better world for everyone, which might sound a bit happy flowerish, but I'll explain. Everything in Catalonia since 1975 and before has been a lie. All our side, politicians, parties, grassroots organizations, they all work for Spain undercover because that's the way to keep us subjugated, as I explain later in the program. So we need to come out with that truth. That means that lots of lives have been destroyed. We don't know what happened with Muriel Casals, which died in weird circumstances. They have tortured me and kidnapped me. We don't know how many more people have been treated like this. And they've lied to all of us. All the Catalans feeling Spanish and all the Catalan feeling only Catalan have been deceived by a tremendous psyop lasting since 2010, because the Catalan process never was meant to finish in independence. That's why some of them gave themselves away among smiles, and some others are on holidays in Brussels and they call themselves exiles. All these things. We need to uncover the truth, because only this way we can start uncovering all the nasty truth in the world, and we will stop being controlled by a bunch of psychopaths that take control over 7,500 million people all over the world. We need to start looking away from the differences and realize and look up. Stop hating somebody from a different race, gender, religion, color, ideology, and realize that there's some very nasty bunch on top of things which are intent on us focusing on the non-relevant differences. And this we need to do in Catalonia because we have the chance, because we have the determination, the information, the narrative, we have the epics, we have the strategy, we have a country where to do that, and we have the team to do that. And that's why we're going to do it in the next 23 months. And that brings us to the 8th point. It's independence to bring a moment of light to the world. We need to start that. As I say, the most important one, or the 8th one, is we need to change the way the world is run. We need education to make us free thinkers and not slaves that work in this system, to become like taxpayers, consumers, voters, demonstrators, spectators, but not actors in our own lives. And we need countries where communication media are there to inform and not to keep information from reaching the population. And this needs to be done somewhere. And Catalonia is the place where we might be, one of the places we might be closer to get this, because we're going to have a new beginning once the Catalan resistance, which I'm proud to belong to, will declare independence in the next months. Changing the subject, you probably heard that Carles Puigdemont is, well, he calls himself an exile, but some of us are in the know and we know he's there on holidays. He's there on holidays with the same chap that put him as a candidate for mayor in Girona around 13 years ago, when the guy who was supposed to be the candidate, he and his family received death threats, and then bang, it appears Carles Puigdemont, and then from there to stardom. So, as we explained in chapter 3, Carles Puigdemont is a new world order mole. And he presented himself to the election Spain organized, and now he's supposed to be the next president in Catalonia, but being sent to Belgium, that has served 7 objectives for his real paymasters, which is Spain, of course. By doing this, he is costing us 45 million euros. Belonging to Spain cost Catalonia 45 million euros a day. So him being there for more than 2 weeks with all these shenanigans, if it wasn't because they don't work for independence, it would have cost 700 million euros. Just this guy being there. Because 2 weeks of non-electing president, that's what it cost. Secondly, it has served this kind of soap that Catalan politics has become. It serves to keep people hooked like for weeks and months. So that's something that benefits Spain as well, because it keeps us disoriented. Third, it has given excuses for the two Catalan independentist parties to fight one another. Fourth, it has given an excuse for him to say in Denmark that a referendum in which the whole of Spain would vote would be a possible solution, which means that independence would be impossible. He couldn't have done that had he been in Barcelona. Fifth, he wouldn't have kissed twice the Spanish flag had he been in Barcelona. Sixth, he wouldn't have sent messages to a member of his cabinet, and that left him, this member left it in front of a TV camera. That wouldn't have happened had it been not in Belgium. And seventh, the mockery of renting a house in Waterloo to mock all independentists that he is supposed to be defending wouldn't have happened. So I know a lot of Catalans suffer from cognitive dissonance, but all these things wouldn't have happened had not Carles Puigdemont been on holidays in Belgium. So it is obvious that he works for Spain. The last few days we've had people attacking Catalans, and the government of Murcia has given free stays to the police that was hitting people for the 1st of October, and all these things which are very bad. And of course, we persons here, apart from being freedom fighters, we hate to see police hit our people, and that see that a lobby of hotels, hotel lobby, is giving free stays to these policemen that did this is nauseating. But that's only to keep our eyes from the real thing. That's PSYOP again. The ones betraying us are the Catalan leaders. And that's why we should be looking. And that's where the next point takes us. We haven't been an independent state for so many centuries that it's like animals that have been born in the zoo for 10 generations. We have forgotten how it is to be an independent country, so we don't think in those terms. If instead of looking at the day-to-day unimportant things that media and social media feed us, we were looking at the big picture, we would realize that there's 3 ways in which you can keep colonies subjugated, and that's what we are for Spain, no more, no less. One is military occupation, but that nowadays is not a possibility, so we have to exclude that. Second possibility would be a seduction strategy, to love our language, to give a better tax treatment, to talk nice of Catalans or Scots, because it's the same thing. They do the contrary. They attack our language, they attack our way of life, they attack us every time they can. So, as Sherlock Holmes said, channeling the ideas of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, once you have eliminated what's impossible, whatever is left, no matter how weird or strange it might seem, must be what has happened. And what has happened here is infiltration to the top. Universities, parties, media, social media are run by our enemies. And they bark against Spain and they pretend to want independence, but they never deliver. Because they are there to never deliver. In the Catalan and Spanish versions, we've read a letter of a collaborator of Name de Plume, Victoria Segura, which is like certain victory, but Victoria Segura kind of rings better in Catalan or Spanish because Victoria is a common name and Segura is a common surname, but together it means certain victory. And it talks about how Sun Tzu already said that fighting in a battlefield is not a total victory. Total victory is avoid reaching the battlefield because you infiltrate everything, you corrupt everything in your enemy, you put spies everywhere, and you infiltrate it so you win before reaching the battleground. And that's what they've done. That's why in 2014 they did an opinion poll. That's why in 2015 they said we had lost. That's what they did, a false flag attack in Barcelona to scare people and to make Catalan police loved. That's what they agreed 3 days before the referendum between Spain and Catalonia, that they were going to hit people. That's why they put the referendum the 1st of October, which was Franco's Day. And that's why they did 2 fake declarations of independence, and that's why some of them gave away among smiles and some others are on holidays in Brussels. This is psyop, this is infiltration, this is treason. And that's why we need to substitute all these people, because otherwise we are never going to be independent. Carme Forcadell and Jordi Cuixart have been saying to tribunals that they never declared independence and that they knew that the referendum was not binding. So they lied to us. We've been hit for nothing. These people are traitors, and they should be treated as such once we declare independence. On a more generic note, the farce in Catalonia is because we have certain thing called committees to defend the republic. We have an organization that is supposed to be doing camping in Plaza Catalunya, but they work for Spain because they're promoting a new political party that's going to be run by Spain. And people are talking about implementing the republic, and we have everything around the republic, but alas, we don't have a republic because they never declared anything. Now everything is based on getting actors out of prison and recovering the autonomy that we already had 10 years ago. So actually we've gone back to 1975. And to clarify what they call democracy, let's explain this. I live in Barcelona. In Barcelona we have a mayor that we debunked in chapter 7 called Ada Colau. It's an artificial product. She has been helped by international places. She got paid for being an activist, but nobody told us. And she has been helped by the so-called opposition to her, so it doesn't make sense. So we don't really choose, and mayors in Barcelona have been left in place by the previous mayor without being voted in. So they get some time there and then they get voted in because they've been made people to know and love them before they go there. And then in Catalonia we have a president that is Puigdemont, that was not elected by people because nobody voted for him 2 years ago. And now they voted for him, but now we're going to get somebody else. So it's like it's a recurring nightmare. It seems that he won't be able to be president, but somebody else, maybe Elsa Artadi, which comes from Harvard and, you know, classical New World Order chill, seems that's going to be put in her place. But it doesn't stop here, because also, as I'm living in Barcelona, I'm linked to European Union, and in European Union we have people in European Parliament getting fact checks, but they don't really decide much, do they? Actually, the decisions are taken by the European Commission, and those are non-elected by us. And then the biggest power in the world, though it's going to be overtaken sometime by China, is the United States. But it doesn't matter because we don't vote in China and we don't vote in the United States. So we happily think we live in democracy, but we don't get any information through our media. All our political parties are run by our enemies. We don't get any truth. We don't have any real choice. We have a mayor imposed by the system. We have a president imposed by the system. We are inside the European Union, which is run by the system. And the powers that be, China and United States, we don't vote for. And some people call that democracy. Well, it's your choice, but it's not ours. We are growing in support every day. We've been in a program in radio station where we've said things that most people had never heard before, and I was in that program. I'm going to be live in a video in Caja de Pandora, which is a YouTube channel with 500,000 subscribers, and the 21st. We started doing live conferences where we delivering the message of Radio Hadrian and the Catalan resistance to live audiences. And we are sure we're going to declare independence, but to do that we have to debunk the people in place. The same goes for Catalonia and goes for Scotland. People there are to avoid independence and not to bring it about. We are growing, we are winning, we're gonna win. Free Scotland and Catalonia, visca Catalunya lliure.
This is Hadrian Radio, coming to you from Free Catalonia, a KA radio production.